It's time for Fits and Starts.
Jillian, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. It's not a. What's that? What's that from? Good morning. Good morning.
Some musical. A musical?
It is definitely a musical of some sort. Yeah.
Good morning. Good morning. Is it Beauty and the Beast?
Maybe, I don't know. You are more of a musical person than I am. Not that I dislike musicals, but I don't think I've been to many.
I would. Yeah, she does that, doesn't she? When at the start, when she goes around to the market, and they're all like, "This crazy bitch." She's a crazy bitch because she reads books. Who's this lunatic?
They're out of control.
Who's educating herself?
Yeah, that's true.
Hell.
That's it in the thing, isn't it? They're just like, they're like, she must be a witch.
Yeah, she's a lunatic. She reads. Who is this crazy woman?
God, I haven't seen that in forever. Beauty and the Beast, the cartoon version, I mean, or any version.
Yeah,
to be honest.
I don't know if I've ever seen the cartoon version, but I know all the songs and stuff from it. But I've seen the remake with Emma Watson and what's his face.
I have not seen that. Was that any good?
Dan something. It's a bit weird.
I mean, like, isn't the story?
It's better as a cartoon, you know.
Well, you never saw it.
Well, that's true, but I would imagine that it's better as a cartoon.
You mean you imagine it couldn't be much worse?
It's creepy as a real thing. You know what I mean?
The story of Beauty and the Beast is very creepy. It's like, I'm gonna lock. What is it? The guy locks her up in a tower.
He kidnaps his dad. But he had reason to do that because his dad accidentally trespasses into his land. So then he captures him, and then Belle comes to find him, and she's all like, "Take me instead of my dad." And then he's all like, "All right, I want to ride you."
Again, I don't see any problems with this so far. Man steps on your land, you imprison him, you swap his daughter for him to be imprisoned with the hopes that she'll be forced to have sex with you because she's a captive. Yeah, this is all going well so far. So when does it get problematic?
What's the problem?
Where's the...
And then she lives with him, and all the teapots and stuff talk to each other.
And do they talk in the new one as well, or is it just her shouting at it? Because that, I mean, I would hope that the real life, whatever you want to call it, the fucking non-animated version, she's just talking to the teapot and the candlestick, but then not she talking back. She
actually just lost her mind.
She's just with a Emma Watt, whatever the fuck her name is, with a teapot thing, look at this, we're in the room.
That'd be a much better fucking musical.
And then
then you could forgive her for falling over the fucking beast.
Yeah, then that becomes a lot more understandable. Yeah, and then it's the part, but then it's like, what do you think, Mr. Teapot? And just silence for 20 seconds before it comes back to her part again. And then and now the candlestick.
That'd be amazing.
Brilliant.
That'd be so good. One second, I just have a text here. One second, I want to read it.
This is
okay.
No.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay, look at this. The double dismissive. I have to be turned off so you can read your message, and then the message also gets the dismissive. Okay, that wasn't working. Just nothing. You don't want to be here. You don't want to be there. You don't want to be anywhere. But then, he locks. Well, I mean, nothing tops that. That's all. You know, I'm not going to compete with being unconscious. You know, that's the goal, isn't it? The ultimate. But with the Beauty and the Beast, right? He locks her up in a tower, and then she falls in love with him. But he also turns into a beast. What's the thing with him being a beast?
He was turned into... Oh, I can't remember. He was turned into a beast by some... Oh, yeah, that's the whole story. Is that... Because in the teapot tells you all this. So he did something, I can't remember, but some witch then turned him into a beast. And he has a rose. And she was like, you have to fall in love before this rose dies or something, or else you'll be a beast forever. So then when Belle shows up, he's all like, if I just get this bitch to love me,
I
can be a man again.
Now but he has to really. Then he learns that you can't force love. You
oh
have to
yeah,
really
he
fall
has to
in
like
love.
learn to love with her. To learn
Right.
to yeah.
That's right. That's the message, because it's like you can't force love, but you can lock up women until they naturally fall in love with you.
Until they fall in love because there's no one else around and you're being nice to them.
Yeah, that's it. So that's the moral of the story. Tale as old as time. It is it is a tale as old as time.
It is a tale. It definitely shouldn't be, but it is. They definitely did that back in the day. Definitely. I don't know if that's still.
It's still a thing, man. It fucking is.
I mean, the government has us all locked up right now, so maybe they're just trying to make us fall in love with them. To be re-elected. Boom.
That's it. Is that somewhere? Well, I know.
That's it. They didn't like how the election went, so they were like, "We just lock them all up and pretend that we're saving their lives."
Do you think if Leo Varadkar has a sort of rose in a glass jar somewhere, being like, "My time, I'm nearly out of time."
We're nearly out of time, guys. That's funny. Yeah.
I definitely think I actually have a joke about Disney films. I think being more problematic than you remember them being.
Yeah, definitely are.
But like, yeah, because like, I mean, dude, have you rewatched Aladdin?
Yeah.
Aladdin, like, Arab people's culture is hilarious and mostly evil. Like, that's like a large chunk of the film. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Jesus.
Apparently the new one, the live action one, was really, really good in terms of not being like that at all and being a really interesting representation of lots of different Middle Eastern cultures and stuff. But
yeah, I watched that recently. I watched it a few weeks ago. It's very good, very funny.
Yeah, but the original, not so
very
much.
Good, very good.
Not so much.
No.
That's a controversial.
I think the genie kind of takes away from how bad that movie. Do you know what I mean? It's like comedy.
That's
okay,
it.
Because it's comedy.
But you see, I do think any sort of problematic or racist content, if you just put Robin Williams in it, I think it distracts from a lot of that. You know?
Absolutely, yeah. It's fine. It's fine. He's being funny. It's fine.
You're like, just sort of Robin Williams. You could just sort of teleport him at different times through history. Although that's probably a bad idea to improve the image of the Nazis. Not sure that's a great look, but he's just like make him Goebbels, and all of a sudden everything's just a bit zanier, isn't it? It's just a little more fun.
Zanier.
With Robin Williams Goebbels around. Looks like we might have to invade Poland. Ha ha. Whatever Robin Williams noises there are. Just doing anachronistic, completely irrelevant impersonations of celebrities from the 90s next to Hitler as he does another line of meth and declares the gypsies to be an unpeople. Ha, hee hee. Jesus Christ.
It's just jokes.
Fucking hell, man. But like back, obviously, when you're looking at those kids' movies or whatever, you're a kid, so you're not finely attuned to pick up on the more problematic or adult or whatever themes. But like also that stuff, it's just time, isn't it? It's like comedy. They say comedy plus time, or tragedy plus time equals comedy. Fucking comedy plus time equals bigotry. Like, that's what it is. You know what I mean? It's definitely like that's what I think, man. Like, if you're a comedian, what you really want is I would say you kind of want to be famous for about maybe 10 years and then disappear. Because if you hit 20, that first special you did 20 years ago is just going to be like, ha, what's the story with all these blacks and Joes? Like, because
that's so true.
Things move, especially now. I think people's moral compass changes faster than it didn't. I don't know if that's true. That's just what I think. Probably just because you're living it more, just because of social media and stuff like that. I'm not saying it's a bad thing or a good thing, but I definitely think things move and people's morals, I suppose it's probably a good thing, really, faster than ever before. But yes, The Lion King. The Lion King still holds up.
The Lion King, classic.
Yeah. But see, maybe not. But see, we're saying this now.
It's
probably,
a bit like
if you're a lion, you probably found it very
kind of
offensive. Or a
it kind of has the
hyena.
same story as doesn't it, as Hamlet, but not maybe not as bad because your one doesn't go mad and kill herself.
Yeah, I don't remember what's the female tiger called? Lana, Dana, what's the
Lana, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, she doesn't go bonkers and fucking murder herself.
She doesn't go mental. So it's not as like gruesome as Shakespeare's take on it. But I think maybe it's just
the Lion King.
Yeah,
but I think it's just what we say. It just that stuff that'll be seen animalist years from now. In fucking 10 years
absolutely,
time, there'll be hyena advocate groups with signs being like, this is a grotesque caricature of the underlying personality traits of the hyena, because there was Whoopi Goldberg's one, and then there's a mean one, and then she's mean as well, and then there's the zany stupid one, you know.
Yeah.
The hyenas, they were great.
I haven't watched that movie in age. I haven't watched the live action version of that either. I didn't want to ruin it. The
live action, because of course living here in London town, there was pictures for it. I showed you that, did I? There was posters for it all over the place, and there was two of them. Both of them were ridiculous, but one of them was the Lion King the musical. It's like nothing you've ever seen before. To which I thought, it's probably quite like the original fucking Lion King, isn't it? Like it's not.
You'd fucking hope so.
Like that seems like a blatantly incorrect.
Could you imagine getting there and it's a completely different like story, and you're like, what the fuck?
It's robots.
King, yeah.
You know,
taking over space or something. You're like, what is happening?
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Yeah, everyone does harp on about the Lion King, the musical being absolutely incredible.
Yeah. But you I don't dislike musicals, but I just haven't really ever been to any. And it's because I work with actors, I have to like keep that a secret, you know.
Oh yeah, you put it on a podcast.
I'm in the closet. I'm in the closet about not really being that into musicals. I can't, you know, people. I have to laugh along, you know. Because you know, I mean, I don't know what actors are like in Ireland. I suppose you don't hang around with them any much.
They're the same.
They're the same. Yeah, they're the same. That's I think that is, you know, it's the actor is a species unto itself, really. You know, I feel like you could go to any country in the world, you know what I mean? You could be you could be in Togo or somewhere, and they'd still come in and be like, "Good morning, I'm over the top." But also I'm depressed, and that's very important.
I really feel my feelings. Do you feel your feelings?
Do you feel your feelings?
How do your feelings feel?
How do your feelings feel? And then also just too much touching, and then too much
much touching.
So much touching. And, always jokes about how everyone else is like a whore and a slag. But it's fine because we're all actors. You're just like, very funny. I love them, you know, they're great. But I have to, but then they'll quote a line from your musical or something, or burst into song. And I just have to be like, I don't know what that is. I just have to go like laugh along, you know?
That's so funny.
I
tried to be one of them for so long. No, not that long, a couple of years. I gave up very quickly.
A decade.
I did I'm still trying. No, I did the Gaiety course and then was like, do you know what? Fuck this for Game of Soldiers.
I mean, I feel like actors have to be very emotionally intelligent and very like I don't know, enthusiasm is something that comes to mind. Even if they have the dark brooding, they are still big personality enthusiasm people. Again, not you. And and then you know, and also you have to have the part where you actually take the art quite seriously. Once again, not you.
No.
It's amazing, really, that you
that I ever tried.
That you were an actor or actress for so long. And again, I sound like I'm being very harsh on actors. I do like them, but they're a different species.
They're a different breed. My mom would say that. They're a different breed now, to us. Different breed.
Yeah.
Okay, mom. Yeah,
so
definitely stand-up comedian suits me a lot better.
It does.
Actor.
Yeah. Don't have to take anything seriously. You can be quite negative. Yeah. You still get all the whorish attention. It's all the.
It's great.
It's all upside, really. It's all upside.
There's no downside, except that it doesn't exist anymore.
Except for the fact that it's not a thing anymore. It's great. Except, I love that. I love that. Dead. But when did you decide, Gillian, that you were not going to be an actress anymore?
After I did the Fringe Festival in like 2016, I think it was. I did the Fringe Festival.
Oh yeah.
It took over like 3 one-act plays, and after that I was like, this is not
I've had enough
for me. Yeah.
I've had enough.
Not about it.
Do you remember the moment when you looked at yourself in the bathroom as you were dressed up as Rum Tum Tugger or one of these fucking characters, and you just thought, what are you? What's going on?
What am I doing? I don't actually remember the moment, but I remember it just because up until that point, I was like, I was doing the Gaiety course, and I was like actively like trying to. It might have actually not been the Fringe Festival. It might have been like an audition that I was at, and I was like, fuck this. Just fuck this. Like some pretentious prick sitting behind a table being like, you're not good enough for me. I was like, I'm out. I'm done with this. This is bullshit.
That's a lot. But like, Gillian, but the thing is though, right? I mean, one thing that is the hard part of acting is continuously getting rejected. But but then you were like, I fucking, what career does that never happen in? Oh yeah, comedy.
Ridiculous.
Fucking rooms full of people all. So, but yeah, what
I think I'm better at being funny for 10 minutes than I am auditioning. And also with my big problem with acting is that you do have so many people like standing in unless you write the play, produce it yourself and act in it yourself.
Yes.
It's so hard to get a part. Whereas with comedy, like, I was doing like 5 gigs a week. Do you know what I mean?
Sure,
it's so easy. It's a lot easier to get stage time and like practice it.
Yeah, I got you.
Plus
you don't have to work
and
with
it's way more
else.
fun.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I find it a lot more fun. Anyway.
That's the main thing, man. If you're having fun, that is a big part of. I think you should follow the fun, if you know what I mean. Follow.
Yeah.
Fun.
Follow the fun. Name of this podcast: Follow the fun, guys.
Follow
the fun.
With the 2 funnest people you'll ever meet. I've got 14 tabs of hardcore pornography open here.
Great.
Barely.
Normal people, is it? I'm going to talk about normal people every week.
Yeah,
Joe Duffy had a tweet. Did you see it?
Joe Duffy. Did I see Joe Duffy's tweets?
Have
you thought of any of the elements in that sentence? Like,
it was like people like reshared it and stuff.
Okay,
so normal people had like the full frontal nudity on Tuesday night. Right, and the sex scene. It was like there was like articles before the show came on Tuesday, and it was like the longest scene in Irish history, in RTE history, is going to be shown tonight, and it was 4.5 minutes long.
The longest sex scene, I presume you said, not the longest scene. Like
the longest sex scene. 4.5 minutes. And they were
setting unrealistic expectations for women all across the country.
Right? Crazy. This is definitely make believe. But so then all the articles were like 4.5 minutes. Then the show came on, and then it was like, oh my god, frontal nudity. And then everyone was like, God help Joe Duffy tomorrow. And then Joe Duffy tweeted, and he was like, I'm calling in sick tomorrow.
Very good.
Funny. But yeah, everyone, then all the old ones were fucking losing their minds, being like, this didn't happen back in my day. Back in my day now, this is not how school was happening. This is not how school was happening. Back in my day. Right, well, your day's gone. Bye.
Your day is gone, and now we're riding for 4.5 minutes.
Now we're riding.
Minimum.
That's what they're giving out about. They're like 4.5 minutes. Why didn't I get that back
In my day. That's right.
That's the problem. We're all just misunderstanding them. We know that they're just
like
really like
37
religious.
seconds around the back of St. Mary's was the most we ever got.
With the
spoiled. Spoiled. Spoiled you are.
You're fucking spoiled.
So people are upset. Are people upset, Gillian? But you said you thought it was ironically anticlimactic. Is that correct?
Yeah, I did. Well, but that's just because people hyped it up so much, being like, I don't think RT has the full 12 episodes out yet. But
oh yeah.
The last episode, I was like, is this? Yeah, I was like, is this it? Is this the end? Right.
Funny, man. It's funny.
Yeah.
People's attitudes to sex are hilarious, man. Hilarious.
Right?
It's
funny.
It's honestly though, it's quaint in a way. It's quaint. I just think it is like I sort of, you know, the world is a very complicated, difficult place to navigate with all sorts of, you know, modern political and sociological questions. It's just great to know that there's still some people who are just that the top of their list of things to worry about is just wangs on TV. You know what I mean? Like that's
very true.
That's where they think, like, that's where society is crumbling. Like if you're, you know, if that's that's
your life must be doing okay if that's your problem.
I think so.
Yeah, this is true. But sure, this is also, you know, when the L ones won't pay for more than, you know, 3 channels, and that's all they have to watch, you know.
A third of what they have to be subjected to is
4.5 minutes of writing.
So but Gillian, do you think that was the writing quality, like, you know, you're a connoisseur of
the writing
porn.
They're young adults by the
Are they yeah, you keep saying that. That's grand. Yeah. Consensual young adults, consensual.
Yeah, they're both gorgeous.
There you go.
And then, like, you have people, well, there was those people giving out about, like, so your man Paul, I don't know his surname, I can't remember his surname, Paul Mescal or something is his second name.
Paul Mescaline.
He, on Tuesday, he was the most searched man on the internet.
Oh ho!
And then people were like, I just saw the article, and then people were commenting on it, being like, "Oh, he's not even that good looking. Why would you be searching him? He's not even good looking." And you're just like, if you had an article up being like, "This woman's gorgeous, everyone wants to fucking look at her," and someone said that, they'd be like, "Excuse me."
You can't.
It was awful. And then you had people going on it being like, "Oh, you know, this guy isn't even good looking," and he's like, because he's obviously Irish. And everyone's like, there's way better Irish men out there, and he's making Irish people look like we're not good looking when there's really good looking Irish guys.
That's really great.
I was like, what the fuck?
He's letting the side down by being ugly.
The side down.
Or sorry, not even being ugly, but being.
He's not even ugly.
He's letting the side down by not being the hottest Irish man that there is.
Like, sorry, he's not up to your fucking standards, Sinead. Ridiculous, like.
It's always Sinead.
Fucking Sinead. With her 14 kids.
That's a vicious stereotype, James. That's a vicious, horrendous stereotype to be thrown out. Fuck me, man. Funny. Lols.
Jokes. Funny. But yeah. So that's my take on normal people this week.
That's your hot take. I think this is actually going to just become the Normal People podcast. I think just every week you've got a new update.
I said this the first week though. I was like, there's now so many Normal People podcasts.
Is there? Oh, that's
great.
Well,
I know of like 2 comedians. Des Bishop was one of them.
It's good crack, yeah.
2 comedians, and then there's do you know Vittorio? Vittorio Angelo.
Is he the lad who does all the voices? Does he do all the voices? No, I'm thinking of another guy. No, go on. I don't know.
Belfast, and he lives in London, but he's like his parents are from Italy.
Yeah, don't know. I don't think so.
You don't know? Anyway, he's very funny. You should check out his podcast. But anyway, he has a Normal People podcast because he was like, I just need to process it.
That's great.
But I was like, maybe I just don't have a heart, because I'm like, what's there to process? What is there?
That's it. I mean, I think that is the issue, Gillian. I haven't seen it. It'll be great now. I see now. Maybe next week I'll actually have watched it and I'll be like, oh my God, I was so moved.
Yeah, you're just a changed person.
I'm totally different.
I'm like, I have a heart of stone. That's what it is. I have no heart.
But that definitely is very likely. That's why we get on so well, Gillian. We're like two robots that hang out together, in a desolate wasteland, murdering humans as we go along. He's like, do you want to go this way? Yeah, we're fucking...
Sure, why not?
I found one of the rebel camps. We'll exterminate them all. May as well go together,
Sure, while you're at it, I'll just tag along.
Yeah, the closest thing that robots get to friendship before they murder people. I think, but people are like, see, this is connects back to what we were talking about last week as well. People are very feely, which is also why you're not a good actress, or you are a good actress, but you don't want to be. Disclaimer. Because people are very emotionally
fixed that
feely.
quickly there, didn't you?
See, but you notice now, like, we're friends long enough that even when I fix things, I only half fix it. Yeah, duct tape, that's fine. You know what I mean? I don't even properly fix. I just
don't even try.
Oh yeah, I didn't really mean that. Anyway, next topic. But like, people like emotionally investing in moving, deep, stirring, emotional drama stuff, and I'm not really. I don't. That's not enough for me, really. I want there to be a plot. I want something happening. Even if it's stupid, I can't. Where some people really just and again, I'm not saying I'm anti-acting or anti-plots that are based around emotional relationships, but some people are fucking hard for that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe I'm just. Hard. I was just like, nothing is happening.
Which is.
It's been 12 episodes. Nothing has happened. They went from secondary school to college.
Sure.
They left their hometown and moved to Dublin to be in college. That's what happened.
That's the whole show, and riding.
And then the rest of it is just riding. Oh, she moves to Sweden for a while, but that's it.
Oh, there you go. Wow, that really shakes things up. But that's because.
But maybe I'm just not. Maybe I just didn't like. I don't know. There's definitely my voice went. There's definitely like underlining themes like fucking domestic abuse and fucking emotional abuse and stuff like that. But then you need to watch it because he is also emotionally abusing her left, right, and center, and people are like, "Oh my God, he's amazing, but he loves her."
This sounds terrible. That sounds awful. But but see, honestly though, people like boring kitchen sink dramas that focus on emotionally abusive in some cases, or just tiresome, I would say, relationships, because that's what their real lives are like. That's what their lives are like. They're like, it's great. It's great to see a reality as boring as mine and reflected on the screen,
like justifies their reality.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's a very harsh indictment of everyone who's ever watched that show, and I haven't watched it. But I'm going to say 100% yes. I definitely don't need to see it. I definitely. But also, think that's what
maybe because everyone is fucking harping on about how amazing it is, but I just don't see it. I'm just like.
It's the same when anything gets hyped up, you're contrarian.
But then you have those people who will like, purposely go against that, being like, it was like the Joker. Did you saw the Joker? Yeah.
I did, yeah.
I saw that one as well. Well done, me.
Uh-huh.
And I thought it was great. But did you like it?
Yeah, I thought it was good. Yeah, for sure.
But then you have like all these people who are like, everyone's like, the Joker's amazing, and then people are like, was it that good though? Was it really?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh.
So what
I feel like I'm one of those people right now, being like,
yeah.
It's not even that. But I just genuinely was like, What is that?
It's a tricky thing, because what's the difference between somebody who's going against the grain just because they want to go against the grain just to show it off, or just to whatever you want to say, and somebody who genuinely just doesn't like the thing that is popular. And superficially, those two things present in an identical way. You know what I mean? Like, but when you see someone else doing it, you're like, that's just because you're a wanker, but not like me. But where it may be there. But you know what it is? It's just intuition, man. You can just feel it. You know when someone's just going against the grain for the sake of it, you know.
Just trying to be cool.
Just trying to be cool.
I'm different. I have different opinions. But yeah, I am that person with normal people.
Yeah, there you go. That's it.
Definitely.
You were into emotional abuse before it was cool. You were into emotional abuse and having sex with teenagers before it was cool. Jesus Christ, man. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. What are we going to do, Gillian? What are we going to do? I tried to write some more lines. I tried to write some bits today.
More comedy, like?
Yesterday for, well, I'm sort of half trying. I've been doing loads of comedy writing the last month or so. And then I went through a bunch of notes yesterday or the day before. Who knows? There is no time anymore.
Time doesn't exist.
Time is over. Time's all done. I'm just trying to see if I can pull some of it out now and actually turn it into material I can use. But it's quite good. The sort of writing system, or whatever you want to call it now. I'm doing lots of different writing exercises whereby, like, I try to think of things that aren't funny first, just facts about myself, or there's a few different things. Like, one is looking at headlines. One is like, so you don't try to make anything funny. You're just trying to compose, because you're trying to artificially recreate life, because life just happens. So you're just trying to, like, and then see if you can work something funny off that. So, and then it's like, it's funny because at the moment when I'm doing, and I don't know if it's actually useful or not, it feels productive though. So like that's 90% of the reason to do anything, basically. This feels like it might go somewhere. Like that's 90% of life just there.
Yeah.
And then, so like I have to write a joke. I'll pick a topic or a word to write a joke around. It doesn't have to be a joke that I would necessarily tell, or that's necessarily even that funny, but like the goal is to have some kind of writing happen, and then you just do that with all these different topics. So it's quite good, but now what I'm doing, I'm in the process of actually going back through some of that stuff and seeing, okay, what out of this could suit like my style, or could build off onto something that's more convincingly, authentically genuine to my lived experience. Being a fucking middle-aged loser. Thank you.
That's what I said. Yeah, sorry.
Yes. Excuse me, wanker, loser, please.
Get it. Right.
So that's what I've been doing. So it's good, but I need to. I don't actually know if any of it will be turn into anything useful. I've had a couple. What I find is I tend to get more kind of like one-liners out of it. So I think I've got a few bits and pieces that'd be filler, but I haven't. There's only been one thing really that's sort of built into a bigger joke, if you know what I mean, or a bigger story, kind of a story thing.
Yeah.
So, but that's one thing that I did yesterday that actually, I was like, oh yeah, I could see that. I had a bunch of all this stuff written on other topics, but then there was one, I mean, we're only talking about maybe a 30-second stretch or a minute stretch. I was like, oh, I could link all 3 or 4 of these together. So even though they kind of started off as like one-liners, actually I can kind of make a story out of them. So that's, it's interesting.
Nice.
It's will it turn into anything or not? Don't know.
Yeah, I'm being an absolute disaster. I haven't written a fucking thing. And Andy keeps being like, Gillian, you could have your fucking special written by now. And I'm like, but I'm sleeping.
Excuse me, Andy.
I'm sleeping and watching Prison Break? You want me to write a joke? What?
Excuse me, Andy, the not
He's
comedian.
Right,
you don't understand what my process is, okay? Okay.
Such bullshit. Like my process, I don't have a process. I'm asleep. I should definitely be writing my special. I have so much time.
Just face down asleep in a plate of crummy cake. And you were like, this is essential. This is step 17.
Oh, it's so funny. He's dead right, like, and I'm just like, I don't have anything funny to say.
Yeah, but it's tricky. I don't know. See, what I'm trying to do, well, actually, no, to be honest with you, I was very consistent and I fell off then the last few days just because.
Yeah, but I've had so many people being like doing all those writing exercises that you're doing, and I'm like, I just can't do it. You know?
I love that, man. You lost the will to even hold your head up there.
I'm done.
That's it.
It's
I don't even have whatever energy is required to do that. That's gone.
It's just because you're right now. Like I should definitely be doing it. But you're writing all these jokes, and you can't. When are you going to test them out? October.
Yeah.
Like,
this is what I like. A few days ago, that's basically why I fell off recently, just because I just caught myself in the mirror, which is what happens to me. I really, honestly, I think what I need to do is get all the mirrors out of my bathroom, because what I'll do is I'll walk in and I catch myself and I just give myself a look like, what the fuck are you doing? No, this isn't going anywhere. And I was like, what? And then my face is just like, never mind, it's fine. And then but if I didn't have the mirror, I wouldn't be able to give myself that eye contact. Yesterday, I thought same thing. I went into the bathroom. I do actually like that they have all the cabinets are just all mirror. It's quite cool.
Oh, nice.
So I've got in and I've been exercising a lot, because again, it's one of those things where like, if I keep running I don't have the field. Exercising, and I was like, oh geez, yeah, I'm not looking too bad actually. I'm looking all right. And then straight away, like I don't even let myself. My brain went, what? You're going to be in 40 years time. You're going to be a fucking skeleton. What are you building? This is a sandcastle.
Oh my god!
I was like, what's the point? I was like, what's the point? I was like, come on. I was like, let me have one.
A sandcastle.
Right? It is though. Isn't that what it is?
That is perfect. I love that. You're nothing but a sandcastle.
I wouldn't even let myself have like a second of like, oh, nice. Fucking no, just back down. So
Sandcastle.
That's it.
That is hilarious.
Maybe I should make that into a joke as well.
I think you should.
And then I can never say it to anyone.
Never. But I feel like you're like the sandcastle. Do you know where you like build like the bridge and the water and stuff around it? Yeah. So the older you get, like the more water fills in that like hole, and it's just slowly reaching the sandcastle.
And that's it. And to start with, you dig the moat that brings the water in. Like to start with, the water is cool. Like it's adding to the castle. That's what age is like. As you're growing up, you're like, no, it's cool because I'm getting more mature. I'm learning more about myself. And oh God, oh no, the foundation's gone.
I'm thinking,
oh Jesus! Like, it just goes like that.
Oh, that's so true. One day you wake up and you're a fucking sandcastle.
One day you wake up and you're just half a sandcastle,
Yeah. Like when you turn the bucket over and like one corner hasn't made
come
it.
Out or
it
hasn't,
just yes.
Just slumped. That's it. You just slumped.
That was my 20s.
That was it. The slumped sandcastle that never was.
Yeah.
Didn't even get it out the bucket. Or the
That's very funny.
Well, building sandcastles is fun though.
I haven't done it in a long time now, but it was good crack back in the day.
I did it last time I built sandcastle. I was it was probably must be 2 or 3 years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago. I was in the US visiting my friend Angela and her kids, and like Liam, he is about the age where he would be he's like 8 or something, so he'd still he built almost too cool for it, but not quite. So we built mad. Awesome sandcastle with a moat. It was the most fun I had in fucking years.
I love it.
It's just like, I was like, this is it, man. This is the peak. But see then stuff like that. I'm like, sandcastle is great. Kids are great. But you see, that's just being an uncle is great. That's the snapshot.
Yeah.
Because then they start going, wah, and you're just like, go talk to your mother. It's not my
You're
problem.
Not mine.
Oh, this one's broken. Here, that's for you. Swap me out. Give me one of the new ones. Give me the one that just woke up from its nap. Yeah, I'll take that one for a while.
The one that's fully fed.
Hey, Nora, have you ever had an energy drink? Let's go find out. Like, you know, and then you bring him back all hyper and crazy, and you're like, "That's for you, Uncle Dylan," and then or Daddy Dylan, whatever, and then you're done.
That's funny.
It's the way to live, man. It's the way to go.
The way to go.
Castles, but yeah, but that's the thing, man. It's just like just the other day, man, I lost the will to live. I was just like, what is the point of doing any of this stuff? You know, it's all just gonna go into the void of nothing. You know, so it is hard to motivate yourself to write, and also you can't test stuff out. So it really is.
Yeah, because half the shit you write doesn't work anyway.
100%,
so then
100%.
You're writing all the shit, and you're like, you know, 80% of this isn't going to work.
Yeah. And at least when you're doing it, if you're doing that on an ongoing basis, you're just like, tried it, that didn't fucking work. Tried it, that didn't fucking work. Oh, I can't write for shit. And then one thing works and you're like, oh, it's giving you a little boost to go back and go through it as well. But there's no real little boost. It's just an undergoing hum of self-consciousness and self-doubt saying, funny, none of this is funny. Just continue, like the elves in the back of your head, you know.
They're the guy. Yeah, exactly. That's what I don't want to. I don't want to write a load of shit and then just be sitting here being like, none of it's funny.
Yeah, it's you can't win though. If you do it, you'll feel bad. But if you don't do it, you'll also feel bad.
Yeah, I feel so bad.
Yours.
I feel so bad for not writing jokes to, you know, say to no one, you know.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm the worst. I am the worst.
I mean, yeah.
Or, I mean, if
I'm the worst. It'll just depend. You know what I mean? It just whichever way it shakes out, you know. Probably both. Let's be fair. You'll go back feeling awful. I'll go back with a bunch of new material that none of it works. And we'll both be like, well, what a waste.
Yeah, like,
that was.
I'll go back and be like, why did I waste those fucking 6 months doing nothing when I could have written a joke? But then I'm like, I can't write a joke. Nothing's funny. I'm not in a funny mood. Nothing. I'm not happy. You know, I don't want to write a joke.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. You know? Yeah, fair enough, man. Fair enough. I think that's the boat most people are in.
It's grim. Yeah.
So just staring at each other's faces, being like, come on, do something, give me something. This is what all Zoom and Skype calls are becoming. Anyway, what I was saying before was I was trying to write some jokes or whatever lines for the family quiz thing we were saying, the video thing maybe.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
I wrote a few, but it's slightly trickier than I thought. Just having lots of characters makes it a bit more complicated. But I have a couple
My little sister
ideas.
gave me an idea, and you think I can remember it now? This is why you write them down.
I was going to say, Julie, not only are you not writing your own jokes, you're not even going to go the extra mile of jotting down someone else's joke. You won't even. You're just like, I can't. I've lost the will to hold a pen. I can't.
Yeah,
do it.
I can't do it. It was very. I'll ask her and see if she remembers. But but it was. I was like, that's a funny one. She's gonna wreck my tits now. I can't remember.
Wrecking your tits. Wrecking your tits.
I'll text her and ask her, and she'll probably be like, "What the fuck are you talking about? New phone? Who did?"
Exactly. Yeah.
Her and Mom had like a little party after during the week, because Lorraine obviously was like, you know, school finished with a sudden end.
An end. Everyone passes. Everyone is done.
Everyone wins. And then she turned around to me and she was like, Gillian, I'm not even doing my... Gillian, I'm not even going to be doing a leaving cert, and I've still done a better leaving cert than you. Stupid bitch!
Very good.
I didn't do that badly on my leaving cert, which makes that very funny. But anyway, she probably will still get more points than me, but fuck it. At least I sat the fucking thing.
Yeah. But, you didn't have the lucky privilege of living through a pandemic when you did your leaving cert.
Fucking raging. But they had like this little Mom made her like favorite dinner and they sat outside and had like a little party. And I need to get them to send it to me, but they were writing a rap about COVID-19, which I thought was pretty funny. They didn't give me any of the fucking lyrics of it or anything though. They were just like, this is what we're doing, and I was like, okay.
Outstanding. I please do give me access to the man.
It can be the theme tune of our podcast.
Hey, the coronavirus rap. Yeah, but what else could we do? What other topics could we do? See, we've no interest. That's the problem. You're a comedian, which means you make jokes about everything, but you don't do anything. Like, so it's even before this, there was not a lot. You know what I mean?
That's funny. I play Switch.
You play Switch. Did you get Animal Crossing yet? Is Animal Crossing on Switch?
Excuse me, that fucking game is like 60-something euro. Get fucked. Am I paying for that? So no,
I thought there was a free version of it somewhere, but maybe not.
Maybe on like a PC or something, or your phone. I think you can have it on your phone.
I think there's some version of it on the phone that is not 60 euros.
I bought Mario Kart, and that was 60 euro. But I had absolutely no problem doing that because I love Mario Kart. And then I bought another game called Overcooked. That is fucking. It was Overcooked 2. That game is so funny. It is.
What is it
funniest
about?
Game. It's just you're a chef and you're trying to make all these
recipes.
You're trying to make
dishes.
All these meals, but you're in a restaurant. And you're trying to like get the food out on time. Yeah. It is so funny because like shit goes on fire all the time, and then you should find the fire extinguisher, and it's so hard. Like I failed level. Like I think I've gotten to like level 2.4, and I cannot pass that level. And I was playing but then it gets really funny because you can do 2-player. So then me and Andy were trying to play it and we couldn't pass it. So then because you have to make all
it's one person's the chef and the other one's the chef's assistant or something.
No, you're both chefs if you're playing 2-player, which obviously makes it easier. But like it's so funny because like it's just because you're this tiny little fat chef and you're like
yeah.
And then everything's going on fire, and then like it's just funny because the person you're playing with, you start getting really angry, like not angry, angry. You start getting angry at them because you're like, what the fuck? Why didn't you boil the rice on time? What are you doing?
That sounds great.
It was fucking brilliant because then when I was playing it with Andy, it was like, okay, I'll do all the chopping, you do all the cooking, and then I'll do the rice, and then you played it.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Like, it is fucking brilliant. It's so funny.
That sounds good. That sounds quite good.
And it is a very hard game. It's so hard, but it's very, very funny.
I love the idea as well. Like all people are doing is cooking if they're furloughed or whatever it is. They're cooking and eating and then playing games about cooking. Like
cooking and eating.
That's the whole. Have you ever played? There's a game. I think the website is just called McDonald's the Game. Have you ever played that? That's great. No. It's very, very difficult, but part of it is you're running like the front end of McDonald's, the restaurant and stuff like that. And then part of it's you're actually running the farms down in like South America, feedlots. The other part is your marketing boardroom. And is there another thing as well? Anyway, basically what you have to do is like, the game is basically a criticism of McDonald's, like, because like you have to like suppress like workers' unions, and you have to like boost the cattle production by injecting them with hormones, but then the environmentalists complain, and then you have to run PR campaigns, and it's really great. It's really, really good.
That's really funny.
It's actually like, it's quite addictive too, but the thing that's gas about it is you just spend the whole time being like, I've got to, these fucking environmental protesters, how can we fucking, like put them off? And then as you take over more farmland, like the land gets polluted and all this kind of shit, and you're trying to like
oh my god,
it's really great. It's such a good game. It's like, but like it has that total opposite effect that it's supposed to have. It's meant you think like, oh my god, like globalization and companies are so. It just makes you think, man, I wish I was running McDonald's, because then I'd be doing things right. I'd be fucking suppressing these labor movements. Fucking cattle would be getting a hormone injection. I'd be fucking They don't know how to do it. Like
that is fucking hilarious.
Just makes me want to be like an evil CEO monster. That's what it makes me want to be. So yeah, but seriously, it's free. It's free. It's an online flash game. You can find it at McDonald's. The game. It's very difficult. But if you like Fat Chef Man, what's it called?
Overcooked.
If you like Overcooked Man, then you will like McDonald's the game.
That
And it's got a very catchy, weird theme tune as well that kind of plays in the back. It's not that one because I guess they weren't allowed. But see, I don't get. I guess there must be some law that says maybe in the States that like I think parodies are allowed, aren't they? There's a thing with there's like not a loophole, but you're like we can't just rip something off. But if you're parodying it, it's not a rip-off. So I think it falls into that category. Because when you see it, you're like, how in the fuck hasn't McDonald's like sued these guys or whatever? But I think that's the reason. Because technically they say that it's a parody funny game. And it is. It's funny as fuck. Very good. Yeah, but we need what other segments can we do, Gillian? What other sections can we do? Because we're gonna run out of fucking. Well, you only buy a Switch game once every 2 years because they cost 60 quid.
This is true.
Like so, fucking. I don't know, man. I don't know. Your family is an endless source of entertainment. That's for sure.
This is very true.
Emer, she's your little sister in the thing I wrote, even though she's not really, but she is in this.
Oh, that's fair.
It's a very little sistery name. I think.
Emer. That's very true, yeah.
Emer. Emer is an older sister. No way, man. Emers are always younger sisters, which is impossible. Well, no, it's possible. Maybe every Emer is a younger sister. I've never met one who wasn't.
I don't think I have either.
See? Must be a
You never call your first child Emer.
That's like, it's like a curse. You never call
your
firstborn Emer, or your crops will wilt. Your crops will wilt.
You'll die.
Good.